What do you get when you have a studio that drops a fantasy RPG the same year as Oblivion with a way better combat system, a protagonist with daddy issues, and a love triangle between a succubus and a soccer mom sorceress? Well, you get a game that kicks fucking ass. Look, I know I'm gonna get some heat for saying Dark Messiah is Elder Scrolls for Chads, but before you guys burn me at the stake here, you gotta remember, Dark Messiah and Oblivion came out the same year. And honestly, when we're looking at the combat for Dark Messiah and Oblivion, it's no contest. Like, look at this combat for Oblivion. Now let's take a look at Dark Messiah here. Holy shit, dude, the combat is so fun in this game. I mean, come on, guys. Hell, I'd say the combat's even better than Skyrim when it comes to Dark Messiah. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to shit on Elder Scrolls. I love me some Elder Scrolls. I've put hundreds of hours into Oblivion and Skyrim. I can definitely tell you that I enjoy those games thoroughly. I probably only put 40 or 50 hours into Dark Messiah total in my lifetime. And over the years, the game just has been fun. Run! Run, dude! We gotta go! Okay, hold up, I'm coming. Wait up, bro! Oh, shit! Whoa! He didn't make it! And look, if I'm not selling it enough for you right now, let's just take a little deeper dive into it and I'll talk to you a little bit more about the game. So Dark Messiah is like most RPGs. As you progress through the game, you gain skill points for completing both main and optional objectives. You have 3 total skill trees that you can invest your points into. You have combat skills, which make for stronger melee combat, including archery and crit. You have magic skills, which will give you all the spells you could ever need as a mage. Lastly, we have the miscellaneous tree. You can upgrade your stamina, vitality, and mana stats. You can also even bump up your sneak skill too through here. For me, I kind of this time around went into all the classes. I was kind of more of a jack of all trades, just so I could get a little taste of everything. At the midpoint of the game, it kind of made it a little more difficult, but you know, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, no matter what you pick, you're never screwed because you still have the 2 best abilities in the game. And that's the ability to pick stuff up, throw it at fucking idiots, and of course, you had the kick. Those 2 fighting mechanics made this game that much better than so many other RPGs of its time. Let's see what this does. Oops. Burn, bitches. So now we're gonna jump into the storyline for Dark Messiah. And you don't have to have played any of the other Might and Magic games to enjoy this. It's kind of like its own standalone thing. But you play as a guy named Sereth, who is the apprentice of a wizard named Fenrig. You and Fenrig go on this expedition to get this crystal called the Shantiri Crystal. Once you get it, you make your way back home, where Fenrig then gives you another task, and that's taking the crystal to a wizard in Stonehelm named Menelag. But before you go on your journey, Fenrig summons a spirit to help guide you along the way. And that spirit is none other than Zana. She attaches herself within you and is now a second voice in your mind, helping guide you on your journey. And while she is helpful in that aspect, she's also trying to guide herself into your pants. I swear, it's like if Sereth breathes, she gets turned on by it.
Feel me in your blood like fire. Oh yes, my prince. We will be together forever.
So now that you have your new companion, Zana, you both then make the journey to Stonehelm. And in typical fantasy RPG fashion, the town of Stonehelm is immediately attacked by a bunch of necromancers, dark knights, and ghouls. We didn't even get a chance. Holy shit. Ow! Jesus! Damn, he's just banging his head on the ground. Dude, you don't have to tell me twice. Hurry up, get the door open for you, boy. And we eventually make our way to a ballista where we help the guardsmen fight the Cyclops and defeat it, and the dark forces, for the time being, retreat. We then make our way to Menelag's place, where Zana bestows us with some wisdom.
You know what they say about the size of a man's front gate? That big one must be Menelag's.
What the fuck? Once you make your way to Menelag's gate, you then meet a sorceress named Liana, who is the niece of Menelag. Upon meeting her, you deliver the crystal to Menelag, and the moment you deliver this crystal, it's not even an hour later, and the freaking town gets attacked again. So you're having to battle your way through this whole town and make your way back to Menelag, Liana, and the crystal. As soon as you get back to Menelag, though, he tries to take a 1v2, and he gets absolutely mutilated by his ghoul, and the ghoul then steals the crystal. You end up pursuing the thief and running along the rooftops, and eventually the thief leads you to his master, Lord Arantir, which is the main antagonist of the game. Lord Arantir takes the crystal from the ghoul and explains his plan to his soldiers. So while Arantir's yapping about his plans, we sneak in there and we steal the crystal. After that, we run our way back to Menelag and Liana's ship. And along with Liana and her crew, we set sail to the Spider Tomb to get the Skull of Shadows. At this point, the largest portion of the game takes place on this island. You have to overcome all kinds of puzzles and challenges. And eventually, we get to the coveted Skull of Shadows. But right when you get the Skull of Shadows, you get a vision of the demon lord Kha-beleth. This is where like the biggest plot twist of the game happens. Basically, Kha-beleth reveals to you that you are the dark messiah of ancient prophecies. And he reveals that you are his son. On top of that, you end up finding out that Zana, your spiritual guide, is a succubus, which, you know, isn't too surprising because she's trying to jump your bones the whole fucking game. So, I mean, you should have known already. Before Sereth can decide if he wants to use the Skull of Shadow to free his father or keep it for himself, he gets attacked by none other than that dork Arantir. And Arantir ends up stealing the skull from you. And now you wake back up, in which you have to fight your way off of the island and make your way back to the ship to go confront Arantir in the climax of the game to determine the fate of the realm. You basically have two endings that vary slightly depending on which companion you took to the end of the game with you, but it ends up just being whether or not you free your father or keep the skull. And with that being said, the one thing I didn't touch on was the love triangle between Liana and Zana. It's kind of like choosing who you thought best girl was. I think anybody who was a teenage boy back in the day who played this game all chose Zana, you know, because the plot, of course, the plot's very important. Looking back on it, I think everybody still chose her, and even I chose her in the long run, because once Liana finds out that you have this demon blood in you, she wants you to purge yourself of it and kill Zana. And I always thought that was weird because Zana literally saves your life, and Liana, all she did was fucking like nag about everything. Didn't really do much for you in the story, in my opinion. So I think the easy choice was not choosing Liana. But near the end of the game, both women have fallen in love with Sereth, and they make an ultimatum with you that you have to choose one of them to take with you to fight Arantir, and the other one you're basically betraying. And I think Sereth's best line of the game is right here when you're talking to Zana about who you're going to choose in the end.
Don't let Liana fool you. She doesn't know what you really are. All she has done is use you to do her dirty work, and now she's asking you to give up your heritage, your destiny.
Indeed. I seem to be surrounded by women who want things from me.
But essentially that's the plot. And you know, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was just the overall like vibe of the game. You know, it's got this very jank aesthetic, and you know, that's what really gives it its charm. You know, those early RPGs where there's all kinds of bugs. I had 2 different instances where I had to go back like several chapters and saves because the game broke. Like at one point in the Spider Temple, you have to get these gems to activate this door to get to the Skull of Shadows. And I didn't get one of the first gems you're supposed to get. And it doesn't tell you like, oh, you need to go back. And there's no way to even go back. So you get all the gems and then you realize, what the fuck? I can't progress. And you're just kind of stuck. And then even earlier in the game, I had this instance where I had to go through this trap door. And because I didn't go through the front door that led to this trap door, I couldn't open the door, even though I had the key. And I'm just sitting there trying to figure out how the fuck do I equip this key to open this damn door? And there just wasn't a way around it. You had to go back. So I recommend, just like with any older game, you save a lot and you don't overwrite your saves, so that if you have to backtrack, you're not just totally shit out of luck. And you kind of expect it with a game as old as Dark Messiah. I mean, shit, dude, Oblivion and Skyrim had quests that were broken beyond belief that you just couldn't complete, including some stuff for the main quest line that I had issues with Oblivion. But yeah, that's basically the game. You know, this game was definitely one of my favorite games from my childhood. You know, you had the plot, you had the combat, and it was nice and cheesy, but it also took itself seriously when it needed to. And you know, I still stand by that. I think this was one of my favorite games Arcane Studios ever made. And it's kind of crazy looking at what they've done now with Redfall compared to this, and it's night and day difference, dude, in terms of enjoyability and even replayability. But yeah, that's kind of wrapping up everything. So if you enjoyed the video, subscribe down below, hit the like button, share it to other people if you think they would enjoy hearing a little bit more about the old Dark Messiah. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys are having a great day. Peace.
This is a nice, quiet place. Oh, too bad we have other things to do.
Dude, chill.